Hey, World Gratitude Day is coming up fast. It's September 21st. What are you grateful for? We're about to go on an 18-hole journey on the Fairways of Gratitude, starting here at the birthplace of golf, St. Andrews, Scotland. Walking down fairway number 1 here at historic St. Andrews in Scotland. What better place to tee up this subject of gratitude from here? The birthplace of golf, more than 700 years old, and with World Gratitude Day fast approaching on September 21st, it's something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and I thought maybe the best way to experience gratitude would be actually to dedicate a segment here on the Reinvention Chronicles, because I've read somewhere, and probably have noticed, and maybe you have too, that gratitude just might be the least felt of all human emotions. A lot of us, myself included, actually have to work at it a little bit. So let's start to work, and we'll go down fairway number 1 here, walking the fairways of gratitude, of course, metaphorically. And here at St. Andrews, I thought it would be a great place to express this idea that gratitude is something, we should feel for all of the gifts and the loved ones we have in our life, and the friends and the family and the career opportunities and the comforts of home and all the material things. But very few, I think, stop to think about being grateful for not just the gifts, but also the challenges and the struggles and some of the adversities and some of the hardships. If you are grateful for those challenges, it's been my observation that those challenges become the anvil upon which you shape the steel of your character and forge the shape of your destiny. And so if we're going to do an 18-hole journey here on the Fairways of Gratitude, I think on hole number 1, I really want to acknowledge and express gratitude and appreciation for TEC Canada and Vistage International and all the great people in that organization who've been so much a part of my journey, going all over the world, sharing these stories of reinvention. I think of people like Mike Mallory out in Fredericton, who got me started, and great chairs in the TEC Canada community like Andre Turcotte, Paul Martin, Bruce Harbinson. I could go on and on, Tim Redpath over in Ottawa, and in Vistage International, John Howman, the most interesting man in Milwaukee. There's just been so many, too many to name actually. And then I've also got to acknowledge the great support from people like Lynn and everyone at the TEC Canada office in Calgary, Lynn Cathcart with the Speakers Bureau, and Claire Sennett and Sam Oddie over at the Vistage UK Speakers Bureau that were responsible for getting me here to Great Britain a couple of years back to back. So on hole number 1, fairway number 1, big thumbs up, big gratitudes, big shout outs for everyone with TEC Canada and Vistage International.
So grateful as well for Wizard Academy, the brainchild of Roy H. Williams, this 30-acre campus, 20 minutes outside of Austin, Texas. Truly a magical world, and ever since plugging into Roy and his Monday morning memos in 2000, the source of some great practical learning. Ray Segrin, one of the Wizard of Ad's partners, my Texas amigo. We've been through a lot together, through thick and thin, and great friends to this day. How about Dan Martel? Number 3, Dan Martel and Martin Latulippe. First met Dan Martel when he was 24 years old, just starting his third company. Dan, of course, has gone on to bigger and better things out of our shared hometown of Moncton, New Brunswick, but some great memories and some great times as well. Martin Latulippe, man, he's my speaking brother, also from the Moncton area, and Martin has been just a fabulous source of inspiration. Also plugged me into the number 4 stop here on the Fairways of Gratitude, and that would be the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. Have had a chance to plug into CAPS and form some great friendships and associations as well. Bob Parker, he of the Pit Crew Challenge. Alvin Law, who's a superhuman kind of drummer and a superhuman kind of individual. And let's not forget people like Michelle Ray. I could go on and on. The First Lady of the Long Drive, Lisa Longball Vlooswick, the real Calgary Canon out of Calgary, Alberta. Number 5, I want to be very grateful today as well for my great collaborators that I've been able to meet and continue to work with to this day. Antarctic Mike Pierce, out of San Diego, who's also traveling all over the world with Vistage International. And I can't forget, of course, Dana and JP. Dana and JP, day in, day out, what a tag team they are in terms of collaborating on the work that we do. Number 6 on the Fairways of Gratitude, books. I am so grateful for books. And that might strike you as a little odd, but man, some books for me, the joy of reading, have literally shaped the whole future and direction of my life. When I think about the powerful impact of books like The Little Engine That Could, The Alchemist, and The E-Myth Revisited, I'm eternally grateful for books. Also very grateful for the new hometown, London, Ontario. London, Ontario has been just a blessing. Ever since we moved here in June of 2015, we've had a chance to meet so many great people and make some new friends along the way. Kevin Bulmer, I'm thinking about, Betty May and Andrew. And London, Ontario is one of these towns that is stuck right off the 401 between Toronto and Detroit, and has just been a fantastic place to reinvent from, if you will. And also, the more I travel, the more grateful I am just for being Canadian and for being from Canada. You travel into different places in the world, and you can't help but feel pride with everything that's going on these days about being Canadian and what Canada truly represents. And as we walk down the metaphorical 9th fairway on these fairways of gratitude, so blessed to have so many great friends across this great nation of ours. Raji, the Montreal connector, Darren Mitchell out of Tiny Coleman PEI, Sandy Gillis out there on the island as well, and geez, I can go all over the country. Let me think. Christina Rossell from the Stampede City of Calgary, Rolf and Alana from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and of course there's friends from other parts of North America as well that you're so grateful for, like the Grateful Drummer, Sandy Gennaro out of Nashville, Tennessee, and of course Andy Marsh out there in Newcastle upon Tyne in the United Kingdom. But you never want to forget the friends from hole number 10, the old hometown, Moncton, New Brunswick, growing up with the likes of Brian Murphy and Mike Murphy, some radio friends there like Troy Tate and JR, John Richard, terrific Terry Gaudette. Geez, I don't know if I've met a more positive guy than terrific Terry, and man, I can go on, again, I can go on and on. Ken McLeod from the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra, Yves Doucette, Rich and Steve from Razor Creative, so many great friends, David Hawkins, so blessed to know back from the old hometown of Moncton, New Brunswick, which leads us to hole number 11. Hole number 11, metaphorically, is the technology that allows this conversation to take place. I'm so grateful for this world we live in now with these things like YouTube and Facebook and all the different social media apparatus and the video cameras and whatnot. If it wasn't for technology, none of this would be possible, and so grateful for that. And since we're still on this particular Fanshawe Golf Club here in London, Ontario, also have got to mark it down for hole number 12, which would be sports. I am the son of a former pro golfer, and Dad instilled the love. Grew up as a Chicago Blackhawks fan as a kid, Calgary Flames, and of course the Pittsburgh Steelers since the Immaculate Reception of 1972, and followed the Steelers the whole way. But also for those days in minor hockey, just always appreciated sports and the values, timeless values, universal values that I was grateful enough to receive from the world of sports.
And I'm also so grateful for the ability to be able to travel. When you have the kind of profession, the kind of career, whatever you want to call it, that allows you to visit some of the greatest cities in the world, like right here in New York at Times Square, hey, who can beat that? I mean, so much to be grateful for, not only the great sights, but so many of the great people that you meet along the way. And it doesn't matter if it's smaller towns like Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, Cedar Falls, Iowa, North Battleford, Saskatchewan, or bigger cities like here in Denver, Colorado. So grateful to be able to just get out and exercise and run, enjoy the scenery of all these different communities, and grateful as well for having the health of mind and body that's still in fairly good working order.
And it might strike some as a bit nerdy, but I'm so grateful for the power of music. Rock and roll that dates back to the days of the early 70s BTO, Deep Purple, that segued into Van Halen, and of course along the way you pick up Fleetwood Mac, Metallica, U2, Springsteen, and the biggest rock star I ever met in the business world, my great friend Jim Gilbert. Jim and Donna Gilbert, Canada's huggable car dealer. So grateful for their friendship and all the great experiences that we've had on this journey. And when it comes to friends, it's pretty hard to beat the Attitude Scout. His name is Alan Power, and Alan's been the greatest friend and greatest sounding board for well over 3 decades. He now scouts for the Chicago Blackhawks, and he's the older brother I never had. And that segues nicely into hole number 17, which is all about family. Boy, you can't be grateful enough for the great family that you are fortunate to have around you. My grandson, Caden, who's had a hockey stick in his hands before he could talk. And then, of course, we've got Josh and Jess, who are a big part of the family these days with all of their adventures and everything that's going on. And we can't forget also about our little furry friends, Theodore and Sophie, the 2 Cocker Spaniels that we're so grateful to take care of right here in London, Ontario, as part of the new family moving forward. And can't wrap up hole number 17 without talking about Mom and Dad. When it comes to family, boy, Mom and Dad. Mom passed way too early and left me with those precious words: there's no such word as can't. And words I still believe to this day. And Dad didn't say a whole lot, but tireless work ethic, led by example. The consummate professional golfer, and very, very proud and grateful to be his son.
So as the countdown continues towards World Gratitude Day coming up, and it'll be here before you know it, September 21st, it's only, I think, appropriate and fitting that the 18th and final stop as far as gratitude is concerned happens right here on the 18th hole at historic St. Andrews Golf Club back in Scotland, where this tour started. The site of Swilcan Bridge, the last crossing before the clubhouse. So if we go and cross the bridge, and we'll head over to the 18th fairway to take a look. I think when it gets right down to it, the 18th and final reason that I'm grateful is Dana Zillick. Absolute best partner any man could ever hope to have. The best partner there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I don't know that if she ever fully knows just how much she is deeply admired, appreciated, respected, and well, maybe online or off, if you happen to bump into her, you could let her know. So as the countdown marches on towards World Gratitude Day, what are the things in your life that you're grateful for? The people, the opportunities, the events, the gifts, the possibilities that you appreciate. You know, gratitude, if it's in abundance, who knows, it could be contagious. So don't be afraid to spread the word here as part of World Gratitude Day, and hopefully some of these ideas. The spirit of gratitude will help you recreate and reimagine the business, the career, the life that you deserve.